The carnivore diet has exploded in recent years thanks largely to it receiving the Joe Rogan stamp of approval. Behind the movement are medical doctors like Shawn and Paul Saladino, both of whom have written books on the diet and profess the incredible effects it has had on their own health and thousands of their followers. But with other health professionals telling us to limit our red meat intake or even stamp it out altogether, can a meat-only diet actually be good for you? Could animal-based eating be the key to good health that our ever-worsening public health has been lacking? So a carnivore diet is, as the name implies, a diet that consists entirely of animal-based foods. Animal-based foods include meat, eggs, fish, and certain dairy products, and exclude all other foods like fruit, vegetables, grains, and nuts. Normally, an individual subscribing to the diet will eat 1 to 3 meals per day within a 6 to 10 hour window to also incorporate the benefits of intermittent fasting. Similar to the high-fat, low-carb ketogenic diet, the carnivore diet takes this one step further by excluding carbohydrates altogether and only incorporating animal fats. This way of eating stems from the idea that our primate ancestors evolved thanks to their increased meat consumption, and that high-carb diets are to blame for the abundance of chronic disease in today's society. One key argument for the diet is that throughout recorded history there are numerous examples of cultures and tribes that only ate meat, yet lived remarkably healthy lives. These tribes included the Inuit of the Canadian Arctic, who thrived on fish, seal, walrus, and whale meat, while the Maasai tribes of Eastern Africa who consumed meat, milk, and blood. Even our physical evolution points to the importance of meat eating, with evidence showing that our digestive system is more similar to carnivorous animals than to other plant-eating species. While conventional nutritional guidance suggests that red meat and processed meat is detrimental to our health when eaten in large amounts, carnivore diet experts refute this claim. Instead, they insist that eating meat brings immense and proven benefits for our health. Here are the benefits of the carnivore diet. The purported benefits of the carnivore diet are eye-opening to say the least. People who have taken on the diet have reported incredible short and long-term benefits after making the switch to an animal-based diet. And while your doctor may cringe at you eating only meat, the anecdotal and research benefits may outweigh the awkward conversations. These benefits include weight loss. Now I know what you're thinking. Eating fatty meats all day is a surefire way to get fat. But in reality, that's highly unlikely. You see, without carbs in your diet, you don't get the blood sugar spikes that you would otherwise get. Without these insulin spikes, your body doesn't receive the trigger to store incoming calories as body fat. Furthermore, you would need to eat a lot of meat to put yourself into a caloric surplus. Plus, protein and fats are very satiating, meaning they keep you feeling full for longer, which helps to maintain a caloric deficit. When you put all of this together, weight loss is a near certainty on the carnivore diet. Next up is curing illness. Many who take on the carnivore diet do so in an attempt to cure a chronic illness. While many of these accounts are anecdotal, dieters have reported being cured of autoimmune diseases, Crohn's disease, depression, chronic inflammation, diabetes, IBS, and heart disease. Now, it is important to note that these are just accounts from people on the diet, and more scientific analysis and study is needed to back up any of these claims. Next up, boosted energy levels. One of the most remarkable benefits experienced on the carnivore diet was the serious energy boost you receive. On a normal, relatively healthy diet, we'd be reaching for a cup of coffee in the morning to wake us up and in the afternoon at work to keep us awake. But many people say the need for caffeine disappears after a while on the carnivore diet. As it turns out, this relates back to our former point. Without the blood sugar spikes throughout the day, you don't experience the subsequent crashes. Another benefit: better heart health? Regardless of what some experts may tell you, there's still no direct link between saturated fats and heart disease. In fact, the Maasai tribes of Eastern Africa consume more than 65% of their calories from saturated fat, yet heart disease is virtually non-existent in their communities. Studies have backed up this concept, with a 2013 study finding that high-fat, low-carb diets may be more beneficial to cardiovascular health and inflammation reduction than low-fat, high-carb diets like the vegan diet. Next up is higher testosterone. There's a good reason why strength athletes live on meat. It massively boosts your testosterone levels, which is the hormone that drives muscle growth, libido, and fat distribution. In fact, one study found that a high-fat, low-carb diet like the carnivore diet boosted testosterone levels in participants 13% more than their low-fat, high-fiber dieting counterparts. Next up is mental clarity. After the initial adjustment period where your body is figuring out what to use for energy instead of carbs, carnivore dieters report thinking more clearly and the ability to focus better. Next up is simplicity. At its core, the carnivore diet is meat and water. On the plan, there's no more figuring out intricate recipes and forgetting key ingredients. Just add some spice to your meat and away you go. Now let's talk about the downsides of the diet. As with any diet, there are downsides to this way of eating. These downsides include the adaptation period. With such a radical diet change, it will take your body time to adjust. During the adaptation period, you may experience symptoms like fatigue, bad breath, immense cravings, especially for sugar, muscle soreness, diarrhea, decreased performance, and insomnia. The adaptation period can take days or even weeks, and you may experience withdrawal symptoms from things your body has become addicted to, which is mainly sugar. Next up, this diet can be difficult to maintain. It may sound fun at first, but just eating meat can get boring very fast. It's even harder when everyone around you is consuming carb-filled goods and then the sugar cravings kick in. Next up, you may miss important nutrients. Following any restrictive diet opens the doorway for malnutrition. When excluding plant foods and vegetables, you exclude foods that are rich in vitamins and nutrients, and this can lead to deficiencies. Next up, scientific backing is scarce. Very little scientific research has been done on the long-term effects of eating meat. While the few studies completed do look very promising, more studies are needed to objectively evaluate the short and long-term benefits of the carnivore diet. Next up, the carnivore diet may not be suitable for some populations. This high-protein, high-fat diet may not be suitable for everyone. People with certain pre-existing conditions, like people with chronic kidney disease who need to limit their protein intake, should not follow this diet. So here's the question for you. Is the carnivore diet right for you? We want to know, so let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, please check out these other great diet videos to see what fits you best.